Good evening. Welcome to the January 27th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mayor Gentry,
Here.
Becky McClure. Present. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
No.
No.
Okay. All right, we'll have the minutes at our next meeting then. I'll move on to department head reports. First up will be Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 747 calls for service. A total of 19 people were arrested, 8 for operating while intoxicated, 4 were wanted on a warrant, 1 for battery, 1 for possession of meth, 2 for driving while suspended, 2 for residential entry, 1 for operating without a license. In that same time frame, LPD took 20 crash reports. And then on to training. From January 20th to the 24th, Lieutenant Williamson attended the FBI LEADA Command Leadership Course. It's a dynamic 4.5-day program designed to prepare law enforcement leaders for command positions. The course covered topics like credibility, command discipline, managing problem employees, and leading organizational change with a focus on the students' involvement in the course. January 20th to the 24th, Officer Jason Morgan attended SHOT Show. That's the largest shooting trade show in the country. He had the opportunity to review new firearms, less lethal devices, protective gear, training tools, communication products, and accessories for law enforcement. At this show, this is where he meets a lot of the instructors that we end up bringing here and putting on their training courses that other law enforcement departments can attend, and so can civilians. Then the last thing I have is Officer Jeff Dixon and Justin Rose will be sworn in tonight by Mayor Gentry, if anybody wants to stay for the city council meeting.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Any
you.
questions for Chief Morgan from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fires responded to 133 emergency calls of service, logged 478 training hours, completed 52 commercial inspections, participated in 3 TAC meetings, and hosted 1 CPR class. During the month of January, LFD firefighters participated in ice and cold water rescue training. We did this training at the Conservation Club Pond. It's just a great facility. It's perfect for getting in there and doing the training. John Messenger and his staff have just done a wonderful job with that pond. It just looks great. So we really appreciate the opportunity to train there. Firefighter Lane Beelers completed Fire Officer 1. This is a certification that's necessary for our firefighters to move up into the ranks. This is a base certification to become a ride-out officer. Ride-out officers take the place of the captains and lieutenants when they're off for any variety of reasons, and Lane's working towards that and doing a great job for our department. Firefighter Sam Cornix is in attendance tonight. He's the district VP for the local 5195, and he completed affiliate leadership training in New Orleans. And this was hosted by the International Association of Firefighters. It's a great class. Sam has really embraced his role with that, doing a great job, not only with that, but his leadership with the department. He's one of our ride-out officers and hard charger, and just does a great job.
Is this during the snowstorm they had down there? Just before, okay.
Last weekend, Captain Sam Doherty and firefighter Josh Messersmith volunteered their time and efforts to participate in the winter gathering for the Hoosier Burn Camp down in Brown County. Captain Doherty's been very passionate about this during his tenure at Lebanon Fire and even before then. And he's gaining the interest of some of our newer firefighters to participate as well. So we applaud them for their efforts with the burn camp. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, next will be Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. Christmas ground scenes been taken up and stored away. That's at Memorial Park. Last chance to look at the decorations downtown will be Wednesday because we'll be out 5:30 Thursday morning, along with the help from our utilities to take down all the decorations along Main Street and downtown. So enjoy them while you can. Wednesday's it. And finally, the weather broke so we could get that done. Really do appreciate the utilities' help. Currently finishing up interviews for our full-time maintenance positions. That's our first round. The second round of interviews where we'll bring a few of them back in, scheduled for the first and second week of February. A lot of great candidates. I think I talked to some of the council. I appreciate all they did, and I think that helped us bring a lot of good candidates to the table. And I think Jason said he'd echo that too. But really excited about the people that are coming in. 15, I think, and we have 5, 6 more coming up here this week. There again, we have also been interviewing captains for our water park, and also I think we have 2 managers to hire yet. And Taylor, Allison, and Thomas have been handling those, doing a great job. There again, we have just a nice crew, and it's nice to have these people step up. I think one of the interviews I overheard today, Rob, look out, we have some attorneys in the bunch that are interviewing for these manager positions. So they're college kids, and they're going for their attorney degree. So there you go. Recently, we teamed up with the utilities for 2 safety trainings. I appreciate their help with that. Also sent 4 of our employees to Purdue to take classes, and they did obtain their applicator's license, so they passed the courses. Really proud of them. Currently have some of our maintenance crew out along the Big 4 Trail, cutting back the brush and removing trees. And this work should be continued. Hopefully we'll wrap it up by the end of the week, but depends on weather that Friday, what comes in. Bucket truck, but we have safety out there. Just be careful and mindful of the employees when they're out there working. We've got it coned off and safety precautions, but yeah, they're going 8 miles of trail. So they've made some good headway today now that the weather's broke. Programs and events, our first round of open interviews for Seashore Water Park went very well last month. Want to thank the clerk's office. They were out there to help with the paperwork. Some of these kids, it's their first job, and they need help and struggle with that. But I appreciate that. That sped up the process and also helped out a lot of questions, and I think a lot of headaches saved. Yeah, you too. Yeah, but Sherry did a great job, and I appreciate it. We have our second and final round of open interviews, and that'll take place this Saturday from 10:30 to 3:30. Or 2:30. Interviews will be held in the park office, and applicants must be at least 15 years old. We currently are running our 2025 snowman contest. Be sure to build your best and most creative snowman for a chance to win a prize from the Parks Department. Pictures will be accepted until February 14th, and you can email your pictures. Mayor, there's no more snow. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
We've had enough.
I jinxed us again,
We've
didn't
had
I?
enough.
Yeah, I do that every time. But no, hopefully the snow's gone. 50-degree temps, we're good to go. That's all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board, from the public? All right, well, I guess we're taking down the downtown lights. I got to get my Christmas stuff down too, so. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next will be Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. Good evening. Engineering report for this evening. We're really in that time of year where we're getting ready for projects, getting funding appropriations in place, contracts set up, and getting ready to tee things off as we come into spring. So with that, there's a list of projects that we're working on, different funding appropriations. Some of them are out for consideration now, but look for more of those coming forward. Some are real projects, some are just projects that we were considering. and looking at options depending on the, I guess, the flavor and the decision of this board, as well as our city council on funding appropriations. One of those at the top of the list is our regional detention pond project that has a budget of around $3 million. Another one is a couple of improvements over in the Chadwick neighborhood. One is the ditch restoration on the north side, as well as some trip hazards. Those two projects have funding lines attached to them at $350,000 and $200,000 respectively. Other projects that are going on around the city, there's the Grant Street project that continues. Although on the phase one project, we're probably within 30 days of getting final closeout documents in place. Expect those sometime in February, and we'll put all those contracts to rest. But phase two is getting ready to gear up as we look to a letting this summer. We're just in the process of reviewing letters of interest for construction inspection consultants for that project. We received 11 letters of interest, and there's been a small committee of us that have been put together to focus on that. And we'll have a recommendation for you later in the evening. That project also has a 2025 potential funding need of $842,905. Elizaville Road and Elm Swamp intersection also on that list of projects for consideration with a value of about $250,000. Riley Road, we should be out setting the final property corner monuments this week, and we'll wrap up that project and close the books on that one. Fordyce Road is kind of in a winter state right now. Road remains closed east of Grant Street for through traffic, but you can get through there if you need to. We're working with our friends at Lebanon Utilities to begin developing water and sewer punch lists for some of that new construction that happened. We're also then going through dotting all the I's, crossing the T's with utility relocations for the next phase west of Grant Street, making sure those are all in order as we get ready for spring construction. Witt Road from Lafayette Avenue to Elm Swamp, that's a project that bids next summer, the summer of 26, excuse me. And we just filed last week our categorical exclusion documents with the state of Indiana. This is what you file related to environmental issues. And what this is basically it's a procedural item that says there are no action needed based on the environmental impacts of the project, or there are no impacts. So it's excluded from mitigations, if you will. So we're waiting for that to get reviewed by NDOT. Once that gets cleared, then we will enter into the right-of-way engineering and buying phase, probably in May of this year is when we're scheduled to start that. Noble Street's also a required funding request out there for that project, just shy of $200,000 in expenses for this year. We've got all the 180 makeover program projects that we're tracking in the downtown area. Oaks on Main is essentially on hold, waiting to, Oaks on Main is not on hold. Work is on the HVAC system is scheduled to be completed in February. The project that was on hold is the Cake Company, waiting for better weather. Then you've got Lido's and Collier's at 124 South 39 and 126 South 39. Both those projects have received their RDC award. And we're working on developing RFPs for the required work there associated with the READY grant program, working with the developer's general contractor on those issues. Eichmann Exchange is essentially about a month behind those other two, scheduled for RDC approval in February, and then that will move forward into those RFP stages. Old Street Garage Master Plan, just one update there. We're beginning to look at funding options for that, particularly for 2025, looking at demolition budgets to bring some of those old buildings down and get that site cleaned up, and then also exploring different grant opportunities for the funding of the future park as the planning process comes to a close. Pickleball court project is still out there. We've got a food and beverage request that will be in for that of about $105,000 to complete all the pickleball courts. Next project is the fire station. We've got a revised floor plan that the development team is working on updating budgets so we can come back and finalize funding options on that. The DPW projects, the main thing for 2025 is the resurfacing program. Remind you, we got a community crossing grant for $627,000. We opened bid packages, and the low bid package was from DC Construction for $1,222,022.86. A couple of those projects are ineligible for that community crossing grant, so there's only about $581,000 that will be applied from the community crossing grant, leaving us with about $762,000 also in the schedule of funding requests coming up here later in the year. And that is all I have for project requests.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin from the board? From the public? Yep, thank you, sir. All right, next will be planning department. And Bontrager.
Board members, planning activity over the last couple of weeks, we completed 90 building inspections and issued 20 permits. So we're definitely in a little bit of a winter slowdown right now. Although of those 20 permits, 7 of them were new single family homes. So still seeing really strong activity on the residential side. In terms of things coming up in front of the Plan Commission at their February meeting and development activity, the Spring Creek residential development, which is up at 39 and 300, it was previously approved by the council. They're making some changes to the product types that they're going to be putting in there based on some updated market analysis that their builder has been able to apply to this project. And so they're coming back through to make some amendments to their ordinance to update it with those new product types. So that'll be coming back through the process in February and March. And then also the Lilly Medicine Foundry project is coming in for development plan approval in February. And that's their most recent announcement, the 200-acre site that's on west side of town, on just off of State Road 32. It's a campus of about 7 buildings and over 1 million square feet. So another big project coming in Eli Lilly. And they're hoping to begin doing site work in late spring of this year and start going vertical by the summertime. So really aggressive schedule there. On the code enforcement side, again, still seeing some winter slowdowns there. 10 total new cases in the last couple of weeks and 35 different activities related to existing cases. What I did want to spend a little time on those, as I suggested last time, I'd like to provide some year-end totals for you. And I think maybe we'll go to the overhead here since I put together a little bit of a chart to show you guys. Read for me if it works. Oh, here we go. All right. Thought I'd put together a chart that showed you several years here, so you can kind of see some of the trends. And so new single family you can see, and what I did is I highlighted in red the high point. So you can see here in 2024, we did 154 new single family permits, and that's a high point for us. And you can see certainly we're about 2.5 times the number of permits we issued for just 5 years ago, and definitely trending upward. Might see a little bit of a leveling off in 2025, but I think you start getting into 6 and 7 and 8, you're going to see that number really starting to go up quite a bit. High point on multifamily would have been last year. The 246 units is the Bel Canto development out by the field house. And so that's all of that. On the commercial industrial, again, you're seeing the numbers first 2 or 3 years there in the 200 to 700,000 square foot range. In the last couple of years, we've been over 1 million square feet. So almost 2 million square feet in permits just this last year in commercial industrial. Certainly a lot of that is the Eli Lilly site. It's over 1 million square feet that they've got in permitting, but certainly a lot of other projects coming in too. And then just a quick breakdown of the fees collected. So again, we had a high point in our general fund fees, if you will, collected this last year, about $480,000. Again, trending upward just because of the general activity we're seeing. Road impact fees was the highest year this last year as well. Last couple of years have been pretty consistent. Park impact fees are really based on residential units. So last year was the high point, again, going back to those 246 apartments that came in. That gave us a high point last year of $360,000. But again, still collected over $200,000 this last year with the residential homes that were constructed. So a lot of activity. You see it coming through the planning department. You can see it's obviously trending upward. Last year being a very active year and about our high point of almost all years. And then the other thing that I wanted to just highlight real quick is on the code enforcement side, because I've been tracking some numbers throughout the year and suggesting to you that we're seeing significantly more activity we had in previous years. And just had Makeda run some numbers for me. So in 2024, total activities, and this is anything ranging from email communications, sending out citations, doing follow-ups. Total activities in 2024 were 2,007 unique activities. The year before in 2023, it was 1,326. So significantly more activities. And this one is even more surprising. So the total of new cases, it was 877 this last year in 24, and it was only 414 in 2023. So more than doubled from the year previous. So we're seeing a lot of code enforcement activity, and McCade and Andrew are doing a great job with that, making sure that we're getting compliance with all those things. So really, really happy with the team this last year and really excited for what's coming at us this next year.
So Ben, the question is, how many of those projects got, or violations got, not reinforced, but I mean fixed?
We typically see voluntary compliance in the 95 to 98% range.
Okay.
There's certain things that are take a little bit longer, but yeah, we get voluntary compliance in over 90% of those cases.
Any other questions for Ben from the board?
Can you share that other document with council? I think they'd like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything for the public? Okay, thank you, Ben. All right, next will be Public Works Department, Jason Lawson.
Good evening. Since our last meeting, the street department, we had one snow event and they used 50 tons of salt and 30 hours treating the roads. We replaced and repaired 3 street signs. We inspected the crosswalk controller on Hewlin Drive for replacement. We used four tons of cold mix filling potholes. The stormwater department, they cleared debris from the catch basin drains and the curb gutters. They purchased all the parts needed to make a pipe repair at 2418 Grant Boulevard. They responded to 125 locates and they assisted with snow removal. Some other news is all of the parts are in for the Camp Street crosswalk now. So we've met with a couple vendors. I'm just waiting on a hard date to go ahead and get that scheduled, and I will send that out to the masses when it is. Should be in the next couple of weeks, I would think. The inspection department, they scored 11 consulting firms for the Grant Street Phase 2 project. Did 2 SWIP inspections, 2 right-of-way inspections, fielded 1 complaint. And then I know Scott talked about the beaver the last meeting, so the ponds actually started getting pumped down Friday. And then so by Wednesday, we should be able to go in and remove the dam.
Did we trap the beaver?
The county is handling that
County's handling it, okay.
because it's a legal drain.
Okay, I didn't know if we were successful in that.
Hadn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet. Okay,
Yep.
fair enough. Any further questions from the board? For the public? Okay, thank you, sir. And last but not least, Communication and Community Development, Jill LePage.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Communications department's been busy. It's been a busy start to 2025. On the video side of things, we're partnering with the Lebanon Fire Department on a kind of a highlight video for that department, utilizing previous and new video, shot some interviews from 3 different perspectives. And so going to kind of put that all together in one project, and that will be completed later on this week. Our creative community project, that story booth, the Lebanon story booth, continues to move forward. We got $10,000 in grant funding. We got the old school phone booth that we're revamping, and now we're lining up a welder. Also, the creative design team to come up with a wrap for that, the design and then the wrap for that story booth project. That'll be moving forward, and the money has to be spent by early in the summer. And so by June, we have to have that all spent, all allocated, and can't wait to unveil that to the public. And the plan is for that to happen during the Boone County Summerfest event later on this year. And then finally, our Love in Lebanon podcast, a lot of great info. And so if you're wanting to know what's happening within our community, just go to wherever you get your podcasts or go to the city's YouTube channel. You can get the latest and greatest information that pertains to our city. Coming up tomorrow, bright and early, 6:25 a.m. is when the podcast episodes air or launch or go live. Lane and Brown Sporting Gear, a new business that is now taking shape in the former EB Gear building right next door to the beautiful catenary lighting on the south side of the square. We talked to the owners there about different things. Rob Crawford and Brady Martin give us the current status of that building and also what's in store, not just a first floor revamp with that. There's second floor that's going to be taking place as well. Exciting things in store, and you can hear that on the podcast. Just today, we interviewed Jeff Harrison with Citizens Energy Group and also Mayor Gentry. It was episode 200, and that will air next week. And then after that, the gentleman from Fluor gave an update in the first quarter of 2025, what's happened so far. People are moving their 950 or so employees out there daily at the LEAP project. And so what's in store for later on this year, the guys tell us, and we'll be pushing those out later on in the year. So free resource to be able to get some things and get some info in our city. So that's all I've got.
All right, thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Okay, from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Anything from the board? Okay, new business then. First item up will be a street closure request for Angley Way Grant Boulevard intersection. This is for a water main installation. Jason.
Yeah, so I got this request from our inspections department. It's a road closure on Grant Boulevard and Angley Way for water main installation.
Any questions on that? Says the full intersection there?
Yes.
Okay. Questions, concerns? So is it the full, I guess so no traffic any direction, right? So if you're in
You
Auburn
won't be able to
Meadows.
come up that way, or you won't be able to head up to the north on Grant and come out that way. You'll have to go the other way.
Okay. So it's just on Grant. It's not on Elm Swamp. So,
Correct.
okay.
Just
It
Grant
really
Street.
just probably affects the people in Chadwick really.
Yes.
Questions, concerns? Okay. With
I'll
that,
make a motion, we approve the Grant Street closure request for pipe installation.
okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Okay. Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Jason. All right, next up is invitation to quote results and recommendations for the clerk treasurer's office furniture purchase. Kevin.
Thank you very much. We issued an invitation to quote for new furniture for the two new offices that are going to be constructed down in the clerk treasurer's office. So we sent out this invitation to three different firms, RDS, RJE, and Fine Line. And happy to report that RDS returned the lowest, most responsive and responsible quote at $5,491 to outfit those two new offices with office furniture.
Do we need to select them tonight then as the?
Yes, so I would ask for your authorization to enter into contracts with them, subject to legal review and authorizing the mayor to sign any contract documents for the purchase of that office equipment.
Questions on that from the board? What was the name of the firm again?
RDS,
RDS.
Roy, David, Sam.
Okay, would entertain a motion then to approve as presented.
Make a motion, we approve as presented.
Motions, there a second? Second. Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. All right, next invitation to quote results and recommendations for the Beck Street demolition.
Thank you
No,
very much.
The Beck Street house, not the entire street.
This is, no, exactly. This is for, this is also an invitation to quote that we issued for 113 South Beck Street. So this is a property closest to Abner Longley Park between the entrance drive and exit drive if you're going in towards the parking lot between the football fields and the splash pad. So this is that property that is easternmost there.
You mean 1313?
I'm sorry, did I not say 1313?
You said 113.
I'm sorry, it is 1313 South Beck Street.
Okay.
Yep. So clarify,
Yeah,
that's what we have
that
it
would be
on
much
paper.
different, yes. So
Oh, place.
we issued an invitation to quote on this and received three quotes. One from Ace Paving and Demolition, one from Denny Companies, and one from Indianapolis Demolition. And the lowest and most responsive and responsible quoter is Ace Paving and Demolition with a quote of $17,900. So we would ask for your authorization to enter into contract with them, subject to legal review and authorizing the mayor to execute any contract documents on behalf of the city.
Any questions on that from the board? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve the Beck Street demolition contract as presented.
Make a motion, we approve the 1313 Beck Street project demolition as presented.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. All right, next will be professional services contract approval for traffic consulting.
Thank Thank you very much. So every year we enter into an on-call services agreement with A&F Engineering that does our traffic consulting. So this is just an on-call service agreement. It does not have any dollars associated with it other than establishing rates for man-hour work there. This is for as projects come in and we have transportation impact or traffic impact studies submitted to us so that we can deal with those outside consultants who are really our traffic experts that have done all of our traffic modeling, done our traffic impact studies, worked on our thoroughfare plans so they can review those traffic impact studies and provide good recommendation to the city. So again, it's specialized expertise that they have. And so we just ask for your approval to an authorization to enter into a contract with A&F Engineering Company, LLC for 2025 on-call services.
I'll
Again,
make a motion, we approve the on-call services agreement with A&F Engineering.
We have motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge, third from Allen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. And finally here, the professional services contract approval for the construction inspection on Grant Street Phase 2.
Thank you very much. I mentioned this in my report. Jason also mentioned this as well. So myself, Scott Calvert, the superintendent of inspections, as well as Zach Burge, our project manager, reviewed the 11 letters of interest that we received related to inspections, or as NDOT would refer to it as construction engineering services associated with the Grant Street Phase 2 project, which is the reconstruction of Grant Street from State Road 39 to Washington Street. Again, we reviewed and scored all these proposals, these letters of interest, and at this point, we would like your authorization to move forward with Crossroads Engineers. This is a non-cost related proposal at this time. So that's just the NDOT process. We have to make the selection on qualifications only. And then this would now, if you would agree, it would authorize us into contract negotiations that we would bring back before you, subject to a lot of miscellaneous NDOT red tape. But at this time, we're just asking for your authorization to approve that selection and allow us to move forward with those negotiations.
Yeah, I would say I had a chance to look at all of the submissions as well. They all were very strong, frankly, a lot of high qualified firms. Great to have so many responses, but I think the Crossroads kind of relevant experience lined up the best, I think, with that. And I think had a really good submittal as well, too. So,
They've not done an inspection in city yet, have they?
They've not. They've only work they've ever done for us was as a sub-consultant on the downtown design. But yes, to the mayor's point, was very impressed with their proposal. They obviously did a lot of homework to study the road corridor, study our construction documents that are at a non-complete state, but they've studied those and have developed a really great project approach. And they come very highly recommended.
I know who they are.
Yeah. So they do a lot of, I think their specialty really is sort of these urban construction projects. That's really where they seem to shine. So.
I'll make a motion that we approve the negotiations with Crossroads Engineering for the construction and inspection on Grant Street Phase 2.
we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That is approved. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the board? Okay, any announcements or discussion? Okay, move on to claims. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Alan thinks we should pay our bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, claims are approved. And with that, our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, February 10th at 5:30 p.m. Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, City Council will be up next at 7:15. We are adjourned.
All right.